Hey everybody! Merry Christmas, Japan! Actually, I'm in New York City right now because I came home for Christmas, so I'm in the past, which means it's Christmas Eve. And I'm very excited for tomorrow. And I've been having a lot of fun with my family because I love them to death. I think we've come a long way and really have grown as a family. So I really just have grown to love just spending time with them. And I think in this world, you really need to spend time with people that really love you and respect you for who you are. And I really think my family does that. And one thing I wanted to say is living in a foreign country, you really do experience culture shock, and some people might not like to hear it, but you really do see, the negative as well as the positive in the country you're living in, as well as better understand the negative and the positives from your own country. And there's really nothing wrong with that because no country, no culture is perfect, and even just your opinion is influenced by what you grew up in and who you are, and you feel differently about certain things. And one thing that I've really grown to feel, and I think some people will agree with me, is the difference between being nice in the US versus being nice in Japan, or just the difference between the feeling of how people are in either culture, or just maybe in the West in general, I'm not sure. But one thing is people are much nicer, quote unquote, in Japan. Just in general, people are very professional, I think, in their fields in Japan. And even if you work at McDonald's, like, these people are incredibly nice to you when you are in McDonald's because they are very professional and they really care about their job. Because in Japan, the feeling is, if you have a job, no matter what it is, you give that 100% to that job. And in the US, I guess, if you feel like you're in a job that's not really what you care about doing for the rest of your life, which, like McDonald's, you don't show that enthusiasm into it because you don't really care. And it's McDonald's. And that's a difference. That's just a cultural opinion. Just a difference, I think. I think originally I felt like, I really like that people are really nice, in McDonald's. And I really like that people are nice all the time in whatever they do. And I mean, I still really like that. But I mean, I've grown an understanding for why we are the way we are, I think, in the US or in New York City, which I think it's 10 times worse in New York City. But the one experience is when I first came home from Japan, after being used to like such great customer service, and I came off the plane, and immediately 10 seconds off the plane, going into immigration, I was like, I need a pen because I forgot a pen. Oh well, you need to go find one. You're like really rude. They were just really rude as soon as I got off the plane. I experienced that, and I was like, I miss that they were so nice to me in Japan. But the second time, and then coming back after being in Japan for 4 months for a not long extended time, I came off the plane this time, and I went to immigration, and the guy at the desk was like, whatever, but the two people at border control, like, coming past that, were so friendly. Like, I spoke to them, and they saw my thing, and they said, oh, you're from, Ridgewood. Oh, I lived in Ridgewood for 2 months once, are you on the Brooklyn side or the Queens side? I was like, I thought it was all Queens, and we just had a whole conversation, really, like, sort of personal conversation, especially considering in Japan, I don't think you ever get to that depth, even to where are you from, kind of, that depth in a conversation with somebody you don't know at all, is the warmth and the friendliness felt. It's a really deep, warm feeling when people are friendly in the U.S., even though it's rarer. There's a less chance of people being friendly just on a day-to-day kind of thing, but when people are really nice, it's really warm. And, you really feel it kind of really deeply. And just people in general, I feel like in the US, when people are nice, they're really nice because they're nice people. And in Japan, I feel like when people are nice, it's because it's their job and because they're kind of obligated to be nice. And working for a Japanese company and having people down my back to do certain things a certain way, exactly perfect, like, I have to stand outside and I have to wave bye to every single car that leaves until they're out of sight. And I have to do that because it's my job. Because it's good customer service, not because I really care. Kind of like, I don't mind. I mean, even though it's cold and I have to wait 10 minutes for some people. But, like, you do it because you have to, and so it doesn't really feel, and trust me, it happens in the U.S. too. Some people have to be nice because it's their job, but I don't know, but that kind of like that sort of depth to it, I think that really deep sort of warmth, you don't get that. I don't feel like I can go to the counter and have a personal connection with the person at the counter and say, "Hey, you're from here? That's crazy." Like, I can't have that kind of deep conversation with somebody because they feel kind of robotic almost at the front desk. Like, you buy something and it's like, "Here you are, thank you, da da da," perfect. Always the same thing they always say. It's always "irashimase." It's always "thank you" when you leave. Kind of like always the same thing, and you really can't get into that sort of deepness with people. And maybe it's a language barrier, but I don't really think so. I think, I remember wanting to buy Dipping Dots, and I wanted to mix the flavors, and they were like, "No, like, this is how it is. Everything is by the book, by this certain rule. It stays that way." And in the U.S., like, "Can we mix flavors?" "I won't tell anybody. Don't worry. Here you go." Kind of like, you don't get that. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's good and bad. I think in the U.S., like, some people, you get rude, and you get that kind of stuff from people, and but in the U.S., I feel like, I really like that friendliness, and I kind of miss it. There's nothing wrong with that. Different cultures, different people. So, that's all I wanted to say for now. And I really hope you have a Merry Christmas and that you really enjoy your time with your family or your friends or whoever you're with. And I'm really glad that I'm not in my apartment cold, alone, and that I'm here with my family because it's the most important holiday in the U.S. I mean, this season is the most important season. There's Hanukkah and there's all the other holidays. I think that the feel that just this month has for everyone in the U.S., it's the most important holiday season. So, bye-bye, matane. I'm just going to direct upload it. What is it, 7 minutes? Alright, cool. Peace. I don't have a lot of time. Bye-bye.